Millionaires versus billionaires. The unseen divide of wealth, power, and psychology. To most people, the ultra-rich seem like one collective class, grouped under a single banner of wealth. But the truth is, millionaires and billionaires exist in entirely different universes. The gap isn't just financial, it's psychological, strategic, and systemic. This video isn't about counting zeros, it's about uncovering the real divide, how they think, operate, influence, and build power. We're breaking down the difference between those who've made millions and those who reshape the world with billions. The numbers lie. Why money alone isn't the real divider. To the average person, the difference between $10 million and $10 billion may just be a few more zeros. But the gap is not linear, it's exponential. A millionaire might own a beautiful home and a couple of luxury cars. A billionaire might own a city block, an island, or even a fleet of private jets. If you earned $1 every second, it would take you about 11 days to become a millionaire. To become a billionaire, nearly 32 years. That alone illustrates the astronomical leap in scale. But here's the thing, this isn't just about access, it's about control. Millionaires play within the system. Billionaires reshape the system to work for them. And because of that shift, billionaires don't just escape limitations. They write the rules that others must follow, including those who are already rich. That's the real separation. They don't just influence markets. They manipulate timelines, laws, and global narratives. For them, money is no longer currency. It becomes structure and strategy, income versus equity. The way they build wealth, millionaires often earn their fortune through high salaries, real estate, or successful entrepreneurship. Their income is tied to effort, skill, and smart moves. Billionaires don't just earn, they build. Their wealth comes from equity ownership in companies that scale globally. They don't work for money, money works for them. For instance, a millionaire might own 5 rental properties that produce steady cash flow. A billionaire, meanwhile, owns a company with 50,000 employees generating billions in revenue. Their wealth is bound to enterprise value, not direct income. Billionaires live in the realm of scalable systems, where every dollar invested becomes a lever, not just for profit, but for influence, hiring power, and brand control. Their wealth grows while they sleep, not from savings, but from systems they've engineered to multiply returns while reducing personal involvement. Risk appetite, calculated bets versus industry shifts. Millionaires take calculated risks, usually after years of experience. Their risks are defensive, protect wealth, grow it safely. Billionaires are different. They don't avoid risk. They invent risk. They create new markets, industries, or even currencies. Think Elon Musk betting on electric cars or Jeff Bezos reinvesting Amazon's profits for a decade without blinking. For millionaires, risk is to be minimized. For billionaires, risk is the fuel of innovation. Where millionaires ask, is it safe? Billionaires ask, can it change the world? Their bets aren't safer. They're simply larger, bolder, and capable of rewriting entire economic structures. Time horizons, today versus generations. Millionaires think in terms of annual performance, quarterly returns, maybe a 10-year plan. Billionaires operate on timelines that stretch generations. They're not just building wealth, they're building legacy. While millionaires might invest in index funds or ETFs, billionaires are creating entire sectors, like space travel, AI ecosystems, or geopolitical infrastructure. To a billionaire, the next 100 years matter more than the next quarter. This allows them to operate with patience that would bankrupt smaller players, betting on ideas the market doesn't understand yet because their vision outlives short-term expectations. Access to information, public versus private intelligence. Millionaires read the Wall Street Journal. Billionaires receive private briefings before stories hit the press. This isn't paranoia, it's reality. Billionaires sit on boards, meet with presidents, and hire intelligence analysts. They get early access to market-shifting information, new tech patents, regulatory movements, global policies. Millionaires might follow trends. Billionaires set them with knowledge that others don't have. Their access isn't illegal, it's institutional. They shape the narrative before it becomes public knowledge, which means by the time you invest, they've already positioned themselves. Influence, local admiration versus global leverage. A millionaire might sponsor a local hospital or own a box at a sports stadium. A billionaire might fund a political campaign, rewrite tax codes, or build a digital empire that shapes how nations communicate. Millionaires can inspire a neighborhood. Billionaires can influence culture. Whether it's philanthropy, media ownership, or global investments, billionaires are often behind movements you think are organic. They influence silently, but deeply. And unlike visible gestures, their moves are designed to mold ideology, sway public perception, and cement influence that transcends borders, elections, and headlines. Their silence is not absence. It's strategic authority, security, comfort versus fortification. A millionaire feels safe with a gated house, private cameras, and perhaps a personal assistant. A billionaire lives with ex-Mossad agents, encrypted bunkers, rotating global residences, and AI-driven surveillance. Their security is strategic, not reactive. This isn't paranoia, it's necessity. Their position makes them targets not just for criminals, but also for ideological threats, competitors, and political rivals. Many billionaires operate under constant geo-risk assessments, decoy schedules, and bulletproof convoys. For them, security isn't luxury, it's infrastructure. Because power invites scrutiny, and wealth without defense is vulnerability. Even sleep schedules are protected. Entry to personal spaces requires biometric clearance. From private airspace zones to surveillance-resistant transport routes, every detail is calibrated for absolute risk management. Daily life, privilege versus protocol. A millionaire might wake up in a beachfront villa and plan the day over coffee. A billionaire's day is planned to the second, with advisors, handlers, and data dashboards guiding every move. A billionaire's life is a system. Every action, meals, meetings, workouts, even vacations, is structured around maximizing control, opportunity, and health optimization. Millionaires enjoy success. Billionaires systematize it. They don't just schedule meetings, they schedule mental clarity, circadian alignment, and power leverage. Every hour has ROI. Their life is engineered like a corporation, agile, optimized, and built for long-term endurance. From blood sugar monitoring to neural productivity mapping, every part of their lifestyle is tracked. Even relaxation is planned, designed to reset cognitive stamina, not just relieve stress. Taxes and loopholes, paying versus designing. The code millionaires hire accountants to find deductions. Billionaires hire legal architects to design the entire tax ecosystem around their wealth. They don't just reduce taxes, they rewrite the tax story. By owning assets through foundations, trusts, and offshore holdings, many billionaires legally pay far less tax, sometimes zero. Not because they cheat, but because they understand the law better than those who write it. And they don't wait for loopholes, they create them. With policy lobbyists and legal scholars on retainer, billionaires often steer future regulation before it even reaches a vote. That's taxation as strategy. Legacy, comfort versus immortality. Millionaires might leave behind trust funds and beachfront homes. Billionaires build names that will outlive them. Think Carnegie, Rockefeller, Gates. Their legacy is embedded in universities, technologies, and even global policies. They want to be remembered not for riches, but for reshaping the world. Legacy isn't retirement planning, it's architecture. Billionaires aim to own time itself, curating impact that stretches beyond lifespans. Monuments fade, but systems, foundations, and ideologies built in their name endure across centuries. It's not about dollars, it's about dimensions. So what's the takeaway? Millionaires and billionaires live on completely different levels, not just in money, but in mindset, scale, and strategy. While millionaires may live lavishly, billionaires operate like sovereign entities, borderless, strategic, and immortal in influence. That's why comparing the two is like comparing a private jet to a satellite. Both fly, but only one leaves the atmosphere. If you found this breakdown eye-opening, like, comment, and subscribe for more insights into wealth, power, and the systems behind elite lifestyles. Let us know in the comments. Do you think the gap is just money or something much deeper?